Yo, what's good? We're on the third video, right? The third video. All right, we got two more because I said I wanted to upload 5 videos per week. So this is the third one per week. All right, I got two more after this. So just give me a chance. So you know how knowledgeable I am when it comes to this anime shit, man. I'm like probably the top 3 debater of all time. So we're gonna check out this video, Real God of Shinobi. And I already know what he means by the Real God of Shinobi, bro. I don't care about these Otsutsuki niggas, bro. When it comes to the Real God of Shinobi, before them, it was just him. He was the first one. And then it was Naruto. That's it. Honestly, that's it for me. I don't know who else is. But I'm just gonna check it out. But maybe, you know what? Sasuke. Sasuke's a god too. I'm not even gonna cap. If Naruto's a god, Sasuke gotta be a god too. So I'm gonna put him in there as well. Gotta give him his respect. I'm gonna turn this up real quick. And I'm not gonna be pausing the video, by the way. It's probably like, give me like 3 pauses. 3 pauses per video and we're done. I promise.
Powerful shinobi in history.
Because I know people hate that.
Most notably, the third Hokage Hiruzen Sarutobi, and the
the third Hokage. Off rip. Nah.
first Hokage.
That nigga's not a god. He was known as the professor of he professor of shinobi or ninjutsu, and he lose points for treating Naruto like a hoe when he was a kid. Yup, had that nigga sleeping by himself, living by himself, starving. Nah, neglected. He can't get a pass from me.
Kage Hashirama Senju. Hagoromo is called this scarcely, and I've even heard Naruto's name be thrown in there from time to time. But who's the real god of shinobi? That's what we're going to try and determine today.
If we're being technical, all right, and I don't want to get into this, but if you want to be technical, you got to go with Shibai because he is the god of all, like, shinobi. I think he was something like that. I'm not gonna go too deep into it because I said I wouldn't give Boruto all that, you know what I'm saying, because this is a Naruto video. I want to stay on topic. We're not going to Boruto. But I guess Hashirama is the god of shinobi. But technically it's Shibai. If that's how you say it.
I think starting off with Hiruzen is the best route to take here. Not only because he's the first god of shinobi we're introduced to, but he's also fairly
he's the first god of shinobi we're introduced to, not the first god of shinobi. That's Hashirama. This nigga, no. Nah, I'm not buying it.
By far so the most on this list. That's pretty much all that needs to be said. The video is a fairly simple concept. Before we get started though, I'd like to ask you to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel since I'd really appreciate it.
Bro, hold on. Does this shit really work, bro? If you just ask somebody to subscribe and you got this graphic up, do they really be doing it or liking the videos? Cause I don't be getting that type of treatment. I wonder if this works. Like, just asking for a like. That's why I don't even do it anymore. I don't even know if people do it.
It's always in a weird spot in the Naruto community's general opinion. He's both overrated and underrated, and it's just enough on each side that he still gets respected by the majority of people. I'm sure by now everyone knows that Hiruzen was supposedly the strongest Hokage out of the first 4, Hashirama, Tobirama, Minato, and himself.
Who?
The strongest Hokage.
Oh wait.
I'm sure by now everyone knows that Hiruzen was supposedly the strongest Hokage out of the first 4, Hashirama.
Honestly, might be the weakest. He might be the weakest, bro. Supposedly, that nigga's the weakest. Then out of the first 4 Hokage, that's Hashirama, Tobirama, and Minato. So Hiruzen's the weakest out that 4. He's not stronger than Minato. He's not stronger than Tobirama. I guess he's the closest to Tobirama, but not the strongest. He's not stronger than him. And Hashirama, come on, bro. That nigga absolutely washes him. Now, part 1, Tobirama and Hashirama, sure, because in part 1, they kind of nerfed them, but in part 2, they gave them their respect. But yeah, Hiruzen's, and I could even go further on that. The 5th. Oh wait, hold on. Now I gotta give it to Prime Hiruzen versus Tsunade. I ain't gonna lie. I know I ain't that stupid. I know Hiruzen stomped Tsunade. But the 6th Hokage, Kakashi, I got Kakashi winning that, and Naruto the 7th. We all know. Come on.
Tobirama, Minato, and himself. I believe this was supposed to be the case for multiple reasons, and I'm not going to limit this to just the manga, as many people, like myself, started out with the Naruto anime, and it only somewhat bolsters this opinion. For now, let's take a look at the examples that give this opinion its credence. Our first mention of this comes from chapter 94, where Iruka is describing him to a group of aspiring ninja. The third Hokage was a genius who was nicknamed the Professor, and it's said that he possessed superlative strength even compared to the other Hokage. Iruka uses past tense wording here, which Hiruzen immediately gets on him for in the next panel, implying that he himself still thinks he possesses this superlative strength that Iruka mentions. If you don't know what superlative exactly means, I think the context does a pretty good job of making it seem higher. The word's exact meaning, at least.
Also, I don't know if you guys can hear my fan in the background, but if you can, listen, bro, it's hot as hell. It's hot as hell in there, bro. You gonna hear this goddamn fan, bro. I'm pretty sure I can't hear it, so don't. Oh, I used my 3 pauses already. 2 minutes into the video. All right, I'm not pausing no more. I'm not pausing. We're gonna keep
according
going.
to Oxford Languages, is of the highest quality or degree. So the statement should read, the third Hokage was a genius who was nicknamed the Professor, and it said that he possessed the highest degree of strength compared to the other Hokage. And like I mentioned earlier, Hiruzen seems to think he still possesses this strength. The anime somewhat helps Hiruzen out here with this interpretation by having Edo Hashirama punch Hiruzen in the face and have Hiruzen claim that his power has not waned one bit. There are different translations of this in the anime as well, funnily enough. Another one being that he has the same mighty strength as always. These virtually amount to the same thing in the end, but I'll say the second one is the statement that's on both Netflix and Crunchyroll's official sites. So if you like to dictate which translation to go with based on officiality, then there it is, you have your answer. The episode is also titled An Unrivaled Match Hokage Battle Royale. Now I know episode titles and chapter titles don't necessarily have to mean anything, I just wanted to mention it. Before people get on me about quote-unquote obvious retcons, just give me a second, I'll get to that. Fanbook 1 also gives Hiruzen some credit here, saying that the top of Konoha is the top of everything. None can compete with his wisdom, while captioning the statement I mentioned earlier about him possessing superlative strength. It also says that his wisdom and courage are godlike, and he stands at the pinnacle of not only—
Bro, we're talking about wisdom and courage. Nobody gives a fuck about that. Can you throw hands? That's it. His wisdom and courage are godlike. This nigga got godlike wisdom. He just knows well, he's called the Professor, so I guess he does got godlike wisdom, but nobody gives a fuck about that. Godlike courage. Godlike courage.
But the entire Shinobi
godlike
world.
Courage.
Statement about this comes from the first data book saying the
know.
strongest Hokage that was respected as the Professor. I saw another translation of this saying Hiruzen was just the greatest commander of all Hokage, but to be completely honest, that just sounded stupid to me, so I ran it through ChatGPT, and it came back much more consistent with the first interpretation that it was calling Hiruzen the strongest Hokage. I did say that I would get on about the obvious retcons, so let's get started with that. For one, Hiruzen's statement about Hashirama's strength not waning or it being the same mighty strength as always only exists within the anime. Both this interaction and statement are nowhere to be found within the manga. Second, even if you do agree with this, the anime and manga both contradict it or retcon it later on in the war arc. But
so I guess that's why they was kind of burst up. What's it called? They was kind of hyping Hiruzen's head a little bit, because in part 1, these two were significantly weaker. To the fact, well, actually Hiruzen won, but if this was Shippuden, both of these niggas are like, they might one shot this nigga. I'm not gonna cap. But yeah, I was watching this, back in like 07, 08, and I was like, okay, these are the first two Hokage, but in Shippuden, they was kind of like wilding. You know what I'm saying? Him versus Madara, they was using some type crazy ass summonings. Madara was using the 9 tails, Hashirama was using the little stone, the wooden statue. I forgot what it was called. Damn, I really forgot what it's called. Don't call me a casual.
Having Tobirama tell us Orochimaru upped the precision of his Edo Tensei so that they were now close to their original power, meaning that before, obviously, they were not.
Oh shit, wait. Oh, damn. Okay, I missed this. So Orochimaru fucked up the Edo Tensei back then, but this time he got better at it, and he revived them close to their original power. Okay, at close. So it wasn't their original power; it's close. So back then they had this heavy nerf. Okay, that makes sense. And they was nerfed. They was nerfed as fuck back then. They was still boxing this nigga up.
So in the anime, this is a retcon or plot hole, and in the manga, it's just sort of consistent. About Iruka's statement, this simply is a non-factor. As we learn later on in the war arc, Hiruzen is not as strong as Hashirama. Orochimaru singles out Hashirama for being able to break his binding and paying special attention to him. I guess that more speaks to Hiruzen's comment on Iruka's statement, implying it's not past tense and he still possesses said strength. We do know that this is simply not true due to what I just said. Regarding the statements in the fanbook and first data book, both of these sources came out before the story was even close to being finished, and data book 1 in specific only covers up to chapter 119 of the original manga. Point being, they are far from before characters like Hashirama's full power was ever revealed. With those statements out of mind, I want to focus back in on Iruka's statement and the specific wording of it, which is Hiruzen is said to have possessed superlative strength compared to the other Hokage. Not that Hiruzen actually does possess it.
It's said. That was false. Because he's probably the second weakest Hokage. I'm not even gonna cap. Second weakest.
Just that it's said he does, which ties into his reputation. I gave an example like this before,
just smart.
But being said to be something doesn't make it to be true. Some people think I'm the best Sonic YouTuber, so you can say it's said Six is the best Sonic YouTuber.
Some people say I'm the best 2K YouTuber. That don't mean I am. They just said it. Now you might be asking, who the fuck said that? Now, if I'm going by this logic and said it is said that he was, then anybody could say it. I could say it. And then I can claim, oh, it said he did this. I can go off of a random comment in my comment section and be like, it is said he was this. So yes, it was said. It is said that I was the best 2K YouTuber. That don't mean it's true. That means it's said. Same thing with Hiruzen. They said he has... Now, I don't want to just come out here and just look like a dumbass because I don't know how to pronounce this word. So I'm going to just say, it is said that he is possessed monstrous strength, even compared to the other Hokage. Which wasn't true. In fact, he's the second weakest Hokage. There, I said it. That's it.
However, that doesn't reflect everyone's opinion or make it fact, just that people say it. Maybe this wasn't the best example since I am the best Sonic YouTuber.
That's
but
crazy.
Regardless, this is where we'll get started talking about Hiruzen being a god of Shinobi. This is a title, meaning it is also based on reputation and what Hiruzen had done. Hiruzen is known most notably by his possession of, and I'm not kidding, every jutsu. You remember that statement about Kakashi being so impressive he copied 1,000 jutsu with his Sharingan? Hiruzen is stated to know 1,000 genjutsu alone. Orochimaru loves this about Hiruzen, that he knew and could perform every jutsu known to Konoha, and this is how he got his professor title. Most people tied the earlier statements I mentioned to Hiruzen in his prime. However, it's never actually stated, and the most that implies it is Iruka's statement where he uses past tense wording, but you can simply say that the past tense Iruka used here was referring to his reputation. We all know Hiruzen fell off a bit in terms of power, but people not saying this anymore about Hiruzen could also be due to his not fighting anymore. To our knowledge, the world has been fairly peaceful since the Third Shinobi World War was over. I'm just getting at the idea that the argument of these statements simply only...
Fairly peaceful? I guess in the Naruto world, fairly peaceful is like Orochimaru just basically destroying the Hidden Leaf Village, or the Akatsuki coming in and out of the village looking for Jinchuriki, especially Naruto. I guess that is remotely peaceful compared to the shit that was going on back then. But is it peaceful? Probably not. Yeah, that was crazy. You got Jinchuriki coming in and out the village like Gaara. How did they let that happen? They just seen Gaara with just some this slimy, bloodthirsty dude, and they was just like, you know what, enjoy your stay at Konoha. We don't suspect you. You're not one bit suspicious. Not one bit. You know what? Welcome. We'll give you your own hotel and everything. That's crazy. They gotta watch what they bring in their village. This nigga killed how many shinobi there? A lot.
Applying to Prime Hiruzen, and that making Prime Hiruzen the strongest Hokage of all time is rather unfounded, and it only serves as a way to attempt to make these statements make sense, when in reality they may just be reputation based or not true at all. It's a little hard to say since we never actually get to see a Prime Hiruzen. There's always talk about what a shinobi actually is. If you ask Orochimaru, he'd say a greater ninja is the one who possesses more ninjutsu. It's why he goes out of his way to learn tons of ninjutsu and why he holds Hiruzen in such a high regard as many other people do. But if you ask Jiraiya, a ninja is one who endures. The second option seems to be more consistent, or at least the better way of thinking, as it's the one Naruto embodies. Hiruzen goes far to try and embody this way of thinking and almost loses to Orochimaru for not being able to endure his circumstances. The reality of it is the shinobi world, to put it simply, is just cruel, and Hiruzen, put in a position of having to murder his former student, is ugly, but that's just what he had to do. When he was unwilling to do this, Orochimaru escaped the village in the past.
I don't care, yeah, you can endure the pain and everything, but if you don't have the ninja skill, then guts is not gonna take you far in this world.
And a few times over, he almost killed Hiruzen in the fight they were having in the present day. Hiruzen gets his resolve back and does what needs to be done, resolving himself to die for the village and defeat his former student, which he couldn't do in the past, effectively trying to rectify his actions. In the end, he obviously wasn't able to do so and only was able to steal Orochimaru's arms away, but he still did it when he didn't want to. He endured. I think I've gone over Hiruzen enough. It's sort of hard talking about the way he thinks, and if you think I'm sort of looking over his character too much, I apologize, but to me, he just seems sort of like a kind old man who is also a killer shinobi and understands the state of the world he's in, but that's just what he is to me. Before I start going over Hashirama, I want to say Hashirama and Hiruzen both held these titles in different eras. Hashirama's having of this title doesn't defeat Hiruzen's, and Hiruzen's doesn't defeat Hashirama's. They may very well both possess the title as they do, but as the title and intro suggest, one of them has a better claim to the title. Hashirama's section in this video isn't going to be quite as long as Hiruzen, since there isn't as much to go over, as he has a much more believable position as we actually get to see his full power on display against Madara. I want to quickly go over some of the things Madara says about him, since a large part of why we believe Hashirama to be so powerful is because one of the most powerful men we've ever seen speaks so highly of him. He could heal wounds without leaving a single sign. He was the ultimate shinobi. This would be a more literal interpretation of what a shinobi is, one who endures, but if he could heal his wounds, then he would literally be enduring attacks. No, but in all seriousness, after this, Madara mentions how he fought a real life and death battle with Hashirama, which obviously implies he does not view this battle with the 5 Kage in the same light, which makes sense. He frequently
I ain't gonna lie, Madara was cold for this, cause he did just wash these niggas. Like, I could see he didn't even think he could die in this battle. That's the crazy part. He was like, yo, I'm just going to wash y'all niggas and go Obito in the front lines. That was crazy how he just left them all for dead. He didn't even care. Nah, that's cold. That's some real nigga shit. Like, that's cold. I'm not gonna lie. That is cold.
Assaults them, holds back, and bullies them. Kabuto also...
Yeah, he even held back against them. Man, he held back. Disrespectful, too. He said, do you want these shadow clones to use Susanoo or not? I ain't gonna lie. What do you say at that point? If someone asks you that, what do you say? If you say yes, you look like the crazy one because you're not winning that fight. Now, if you say no, you sound like a bitch. And he probably gonna do it anyway. And if you even say no and he doesn't do it, if you start winning, then he's just gonna do it. So there's no win-win. You might as well just be quiet and don't say nothing, which they did, and they still lost. Yeah.
Also makes some comments about Hashirama in this fight that help us get a better understanding of his power. There is no shinobi alive today who is as powerful as the first Hokage Senju Hashirama. In fact, many doubt that his power was ever as strong as legends say, just like they think that Sage of Six Paths' power was also a fairy tale. It's time to show them that all the myths were real. This obviously gives us another pretty insane feel for Hashirama's power. The next statement from Kabuto also hypes Hashirama up quite a bit. The first Hokage was even more powerful than Madara. The fusion of both will be my ultimate weapon. This is obviously just another big statement for Hashirama's power, so we won't dwell on it too much. I want to start breaking down.
Yeah, that was true, but I mean, as soon as Madara got the Rinnegan, yeah, I think that was it for Hashirama. I'm just being for real. As soon as Madara got that Rinnegan, he couldn't Hashirama couldn't handle him. Even right here where he absorbed Hashirama's Sage power, that was it for him. Once he got that, he was the real god. He was the real god. At that point, he was the god. Like, yo, damn. They ain't never seen nothing like that before.
Hashirama's fight, as the scale of it is truly on a complete other level. And if you were to tell someone who has a traditional sense of what a ninja is, that this fight is taking place between two proclaimed ninja, I highly doubt that they would believe you. Starting on chapter 620, the first page of the fight is relatively tame, showing Hashirama and Madara clashing their weapons before kicking off of each other to return to their side. Then it's revealed Madara is in control of Nine Tails and he activates his EMS, showing the battle is clearly about to kick up a notch. Hashirama also launches his Wood Dragon as well, which wraps around Kurama until Kurama just blows it up with a Biju Bomb. Well, blows it up doesn't really fit here, as the Biju Bomb doesn't explode, it just hits the dragon's head as is and it starts heading toward Hashirama. As it starts heading toward Hashirama, a hand catches it and the wood golem comes out and tries to shove the Biju Bomb back in the Nine Tails face when it's stopped by Madara's armored Susanoo. So in the span of 5 pages, we are shown Hashirama and Madara both engaged in above Nine Tails level combat, and neither of them are breaking a sweat, and it's just chapter 1. After chapter 620 or 621, the Biju Bomb fired in the last chapter explodes, and it's a really large explosion. After the explosion, we're shown Madara and Kurama took no damage from this, but at the same time, Madara had clad the entire Nine Tails in his Susanoo armor. Hashirama staved off the damage by using whatever ugly face wood jutsu this is, but whatever. Madara swings his sword at Hashirama, to which Hashirama's response is 2 giant hands that catch the blade. He summons more of these hands to try and grab Kurama, but Madara responds and spins around, slicing, and the force of these slices literally blow the tops of the mountains away. Again, this fight is on a completely different scale. We then see Hashirama running away from Madara, who fires a Susanoo Sword Biju Bomb that Hashirama changes the trajectory of with 5 Rashomon gates. I'll reiterate, this battle is on a completely different scale.
Damn. Nah, y'all listening to this? This is some god shit. Like, this battle is some god shit. I'm not gonna lie. It's a step, like, I ain't gonna lie, a step, and I mean a step below that final fight between Naruto and Sasuke. This is crazy. 5 Rashomon gates. 5 Rashomon gates. And I think it took, how many did it take Orochimaru to hold off Naruto's Biju Bomb? Around the same. And then it didn't work.
Dialogue in which Madara says he's already reached it, referencing the point of no return, which Hashirama replies and then so be it and turns on his Sage mode, and then summons the 1,000-armed Buddha statue.
Yup, the 1,000-armed Buddha statue. That's what it's called. My fault.
The statue is so powerful, by the way, that the data books say that it can't withstand the force of its own punches, so the arms break whenever it throws one. Going over this fight further would be virtually pointless. I think it's pretty clear what I mean when I say it's believable that this guy is the god of Shinobi. This fight taking place literally created a massive crater in the ground that was named the Valley of the End, or the Final Valley, whatever you want to call it. Hashirama's whiz style, something no one else in the entire history of
You know what? It would be wrong to say that this battle was a step below Naruto and Sasuke's final battle, if this initial battle created the Valley of the End. But then again, that battle created a whole valley. Naruto and Sasuke battle at the end just destroyed these two statues right here. So in terms of destructive power, I guess this battle takes the cake. But it was said that this battle was longer than the Naruto and Sasuke fight. I think this battle was a couple of days, and the Naruto and Sasuke one, that was at least a day, I think, around there. I think this battle was longer. Don't take my word for facts. I'm just saying what I think.
Shinobi has possessed, and for whatever reason, the nature transformation is just extremely busted. You can absorb your chakra with it, pin you down with it, or do both at the same time. Hashirama can heal to an outrageous degree. I commented on this earlier, but it's literally the same as Tsunade's, but without the need for the Byakugo seal or anything of the sort, just pure talent. The literal cells in Hashirama's body are sought after because they're so powerful. And even for a seasoned ninja and powerful ninja like Danzo, his cells are difficult to control. His cells are used to strengthen Obito and Madara's connection to the Ten Tails. His cells increase the binding power for Edo Tensei. Some people think that his cells can stave off the blindness caused by the Mangekyo Sharingan. The man is insane. There is no doubt in my mind that he was named the God of Shinobi just because of the immense power that he produced. I want to talk about Hagoromo next because I think the guy is fairly interesting, but I don't think he's a God of Shinobi. I think Hagoromo is more of a god to Shinobi, meaning that Hagoromo isn't a ninja. He has chakra, he shared his chakra, and without him the ninja world wouldn't have been made, but he's not a ninja. His reincarnation is even said to be a god of creation or destruction, not the next god of Shinobi. Sorry for the brief cover, but I'm just trying to get at the point that he doesn't really belong in the discussion. Then we have Naruto, who earns his spot as the best Shinobi for ending the cycle of hatred alone. For the longest time, Shinobi were trapped in that cycle and Naruto went against it. He didn't kill Sasuke, he just wanted to save him and it worked. He united the entire world together through his chakra, sharing memories with them, and the same with Hashirama's memories, allowing everyone to become connected in a way that they never could before. He mastered Six Path Sage Mode. He's said to surpass Hashirama, who we mentioned earlier as the god of Shinobi. Naruto is never directly called this in canon, but he is 100% the god of Shinobi. That's pretty much all from the video, though. Please leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel. But other than
Naruto is the real god of Shinobi. He said it himself, bro. He's the god of Shinobi. He's the real god of Shinobi. It took him that long just to say that, and he said it in like 30 seconds. But anyway, who's the real god of Shinobi to y'all? I mean, for me, it probably is Naruto for what he said right here, but I want to know what y'all think, especially if y'all have a different opinion. But so put it in the comment section below. I hope y'all are done commenting, bro. Leave a like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. If you want me to comment, if you want me to react to anything, just comment it down below. Until then, I'm out. Peace.